Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to the Continuity Report for November 30th, 2024. I just ate a sour candy. Don't do that right before our show starts. I am Mayor Watt, and along with the sentient AI and the working visualizer, as opposed to the previous show today, not working visualizer, we're going to talk about these 5 articles. Mighty Mouse and Ryan Reynolds, the next Harlan Coben series, Wild Robots, Big Rebates, iconic thrillers, and 5 that fell flat. Like I said, I am Mayor Watt. And on the other side, you'll get introduced to the sentient AI from the future. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt.
Hey, your visualizer's working. Yay! Right on. So let's get into these 5 articles. Sound good? Who knows? It might run long. We're typically a 30-minute show now. Used to be an hour-long show, but anyway, let's go.
We'll be lucky if we stick to 30 minutes, though.
Yeah, probably. So Mighty Mouse may fly to theaters thanks to Ryan Reynolds' team. The famous superhero mouse is getting a new movie from the team and writer behind Free Guy. Mighty Mouse. So I still remember the theme song to Mighty Mouse cartoons.
I was going to ask, do you think most people going to the theater know who Mighty Mouse is?
Not under 50. So Germain Lucier, I guess, is their name. They're over at Gizmodo.com, and they put this article together, and it says, the deck statement says what I said earlier. Mighty Mouse, the popular superhero who has been a household name since the 1940s, is set to get his first big screen adaptation, according to Variety. Maximum Effort. The production company, led by Ryan Reynolds, has been tapped by Paramount Animation, i.e. Transformers 1, TMNT, Mutant Mayhem, to bring Mighty Mouse to theaters, and it's enlisted writer Matt Lieberman to pen the script. Everything old is new again. Yeah, we're literally going back to the 1940s in all ways.
I was going to say Hollywood seems to be out of new ideas, so it's going backward a lot of times. But this is really far back.
So Lieberman previously worked with Ryan Reynolds and Maximum Effort on Free Guy, the 2021 film about video game NPC who breaks out of his world to save his world, breaks out to save his world. He also wrote the Christmas Chronicle movies, the one with Kurt Russell and Santa Claus, or as Santa Claus, as well as the recent Addams Family and Scooby-Doo animated films. All of which, in an odd way, does have a very Mighty Mouse alchemy. Animation, family adventure, classic IP. I wanted to say Internet Protocol, but that's intellectual property. Etc. Seems like a smart hire. Anyway, Mighty Mouse has been around for the better part of 100 years. Seen in all matter of media. Andy Kaufman's most famous gags ever. He plays the song and lip syncs to it, as well as miming certain things.
Was he a comedian?
Yeah, actor, comedian, yeah. Andy Kaufman. So Paramount has made repeated attempts to find the right people to make the film, but has yet to bring it all together. Most recently, the people behind Red and The Meg, which is about a megalodon shark. Not a person named Meg.
That's what it sounds like.
Or a giant nutmeg. It has nothing to do with that. It's about a megalodon. Anyway, gave it a shot, but since this is a new team, we assume that didn't pan out. So, yeah, there isn't much more to it, but Mighty Mouse has been around for a while. And here I come to save the day.
Right? You know, this will be interesting to see the animation style.
Yeah, I'm thinking that this is going to be like this kind of glossy new style of animation, which I'm really not hip to, but maybe I just need to be more immersed in it. I'm not going to go out of my way to watch Mighty Mouse, though. But whatever you have to say about it, it's stuck in my head.
So there is something positive about it, at least from a marketing standpoint. But maybe they'll make it some sort of retro style, look in the animation. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll keep an eye on this. And if it comes to like, I don't know, Apple or Prime or wherever else, who's doing it? Hold on a second. Paramount. Oh, so it'll be on there.
Right, we better look on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, which means we subscribe to it anyway. So we subscribe to everything because, well, we have to. It's for the show. That's what I tell everybody. Anyway, let's move on. Netflix sets next Harlan Coben series, I Will Find You, taps showrunner Robert Hull. Are you familiar with this?
I'm not familiar with the series, but I'm familiar with the writer, and they had another series which we didn't watch, but they had one before that that was really good. This is one of these twist and turn kind of thriller writers.
Interesting.
And I'm trying to think of the one that we have seen. I'll look it up while we're talking.
So it says the 8-episode limited series will be adapted from the author's 2023 novel by showrunner Robert Hull, God Friended Me, Quantum Leap, Alcatraz. When you click the little link here that is embedded in ohmTown.com, it'll take you over to Variety. Ethan Schanfeld put the article together for Variety, and it says here that I Will Find You follows an innocent father serving a life sentence for the murder of his own son. Pardon me, my goodness. When he receives evidence that his son may still be alive, he is determined to break out of prison to discover the truth.
So we've seen Stay Close, which was about like a soccer mom, but like with a backstory, and it was a thriller. It was really, really pretty intense, I would say.
Interesting. So his 2014 thriller Missing You is getting the series treatment on January 1st, 2025, while other titles, Caught and Run Away, are in the works. Coben's other successful series for the streamer include Fool Me Once, Stay Close, The Stranger, The Innocent, Gone for Good, Hold Tight, and The Woods, which, is it about Tiger Woods? I don't know.
I don't think so, unless it's a thriller about Tiger Woods.
I guess there could be, right? He is also currently writing a thriller novel with Reese Witherspoon due October 2025.
Interesting. So we should probably expect a movie starring Reese, right? Or directed by her.
Yeah, apparently. So Harlan's gripping stories are beloved around the world and have consistently captivated their fans, with their trademark twists and turns, as he said, dramatic cliffhangers and compelling mysteries, said Peter Friedlander, Netflix's vice president of scripted series in the U.S. and Canada, and there's no one like Harlan. And his first U.S. scripted series with Netflix will be no exception. Dun, dun, dun.
Cool. I think most of his have been UK, maybe previously UK based, but he's like on par with like a James Patterson style storytelling, I would say.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Well, I'm here for it. If you want to get all of today's show notes, hit bang or exclamation point. Eventually, I'm going to just say bang. Everybody's just going to have to get over it. And then for the continuity report, it's TCR. So bang, TCR. And ohmTown will spit out all of the articles. There's only 5 now. We used to do 10. But we wanted to get some more shows in a shorter amount of time and let you live your life. And we're going to start posting more content over to Patreon so that you can get more links for content that we have evaluated and then thrown into, over to Patreon as a value add. Hopefully you find that really interesting, and other stuff that we might do. So be sure to follow over there as well, because that's where early adoption stuff will be posted first. All right, so let's move on. The next article is over in the continuity report. The Wild Robot's $318 million box office just gave DreamWorks its biggest year in a decade. So the Wild Robot has helped push DreamWorks' box office past a major record. DreamWorks Animation is a studio that was founded in 1994 by iconic filmmaker Steven Spielberg, with Jeffrey Katzenberg and David Geffen. I almost said Jeff Deffen, but anyway, I don't know what's going on in my brain. Anyway, its first major hit was its second release, 1998's The Prince of Egypt, which grossed $219 million. I'm rounding up against the $60 million budget. Since then, it has many more hits, launching multiple major animated franchises, including Shrek, Madagascar, Kung Fu Panda, How to Train Your Dragon, Trolls, The Boss Baby.
Maybe The Boss Lady is one of the sequels.
Yeah.
But this actually, they have some pretty significant animated franchises.
Did you see the collectively?
Shrek,
collectively, DreamWorks movies have grossed more than $17 billion worldwide and earned 3 Oscars.
I hadn't seen that yet. That's really incredible. I didn't know that DreamWorks was behind all these. Yes, I know their logo and everything, but I wouldn't have said, oh yeah, they made all these.
So now, here's the thing. I've not watched or heard of The Wild Robot.
Well, we did talk about it, I think, in another continuity report episode, but I think it was in a compilation or something. It's been getting a lot of buzz.
Interesting.
I think it got some buzz at a one of those, what are they called? When they feature like a film festival or something.
Okay. Yeah, so it says the movie, which is adapted from the 2016 book by the same name by Peter Brown, opened to a middling $36 million, but had a slow and steady box office run that saw it rise to a total of $318.4 million worldwide against its $78 million budget. Dear God, everything they do. Look, it's 218 against 60 million was The Prince of Egypt. That was their first hit.
I don't even know what that one is, but I mean, that's an amazing return.
And this one is 78 million. It's basically revisiting. The ratio is the same, 78 million, and they ended up with 318.4. Their first one. I would
say, well, is that because it's animated? But it can't be, because we see other things where there's a box office bomb of another animated movie.
Well, wait, what are you trying to say?
Well, I wondered if it was like easier to make a better return on an animated hit rather than live action. I don't know.
I don't know. You pay for the voice and name. But not based on some of
the recent Pixars and everything.
It has Kit Connor, Pedro Pascal, Catherine O'Hara, Bill Nighy, Stephanie Sue, Mark Hamill, Matt Berry, Ving Rhames. My God, I mean, it's got all kinds of actors in there. So, pretty amazing. It says that The Wild Robot and Kung Fu Panda 4's collective box office makes 2024's DreamWorks the best since 2014. Yeah. So since 2014, they've not... Wait, how is that possible? Yeah, 2014, Mr. Peabody and Sherman, How to Train Your Dragon 2, Penguins of Madagascar, just shy... Is that real? Shy of $1 billion?
Yeah, that's unbelievable. And 2 of those were sequels.
That is insane. Wow. I've never even heard of Teenage Kraken. Or Ruby Gilman. My gosh.
No, I don't know some of these.
Well, I guess they didn't do anything in 2018.
2018?
I have no idea. That's wild. They just cashed out. Took a year vacation.
I don't think there was a strike or anything that year.
So back in 2014. Oh, and there's a lot more in this article. I won't be able to go through it all. Brennan Klein put the article together for Screen Rant. I didn't say it at the beginning of this. I was too excited to give the credit, but there's the credit.
But what I don't get is look at the box office proceeds.
Right.
Compared to 2024. Like, it's not above it, but maybe, I don't know.
You mean the first one?
When you adjust in dollars or something. Yeah, like 2024 is gaining on 2014, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's back to that thing that I said a long time ago, that there's fewer showings, but it costs more to go. And so they make up for the volume in the inflation. So it's $866.4 million versus 10 years ago, $981.5 million. But the thing about it is, if you were to look at the number of theaters that the 2014 movie was shown in, it would probably eclipse by far the 2024 showings. But the price per showing of 2024 is probably quite high. So they say DreamWorks' 2024 box office performance is a great sign for the studio, but it's really about an increased price and stuff. I hate to say it, that it just costs more. And so the people who would normally go and see it are actually going to see it anyway, and they're going to pay the price versus 10 years ago.
But I was missing another takeaway here. The Wild Robot is not a sequel.
Oh, right. Yeah, that one's brand new.
And like some of their spectacular years were when they had sequels, right? Penguins of Madagascar and How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Oh,
and then
right.
also like 2019, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World.
Yeah. Yep. So when they dropped like Trolls World 2, it seemed to flame out. 263 million, calling that flaming out. But The Croods was a flop, I think. Nobody really attached to it as far as I know. But all of this is probably from Trolls World Tour.
Right. And then like they had a really good year in 2017. And that's a new movie, The Boss Baby. But Captain Underpants had a book series, I think before the movies came out. So maybe it already had a following.
Yeah, it was trading on the name Captain Underpants because it was a viral hit. The books. So pretty cool. I like this. There is more to this article. They talk about will it beat its 2024 box office in 2025, etc. But this is all speculation. Yeah. Let's keep moving. Sound good?
Sounds good.
So this next article is over in the Continuity Report. Big rebates lure international shoots to Iceland as productions contend with active volcanoes.
What do you call when you're going to do a scene or whatever on the little board? Like
what do you...
lights, camera, action or something?
Yeah.
They're probably like lights, camera,
eruption.
Yeah, exactly.
In the middle of a lava field in southern peninsula of Iceland, the crew of the Fires is setting up the next shot. This is big rebates lure international shoots to Iceland. In the production village, producer Grimar Johnson and other crew members are taking a coffee and pastry break in an RV near a picture car on a truck bed. And Pat Saperstein put this article together for Variety.com. And it says the striking setting is par for the course in the island country that has seen a surge in production since its already healthy 25% production rebate was increased 2 years ago to 35% for qualified larger productions. But why? Why? Maybe if it's set in that kind of a space, then you go, right? But why would you be attracted to it just to set something there because of 35% if it isn't truly set there?
Right. It'd have to match whatever landscape or feel you were going for in your movie already. But maybe there's other countries that are competitive with Iceland. Like Iceland has a pretty distinctive landscape.
Right. Well, I mean, it looks like that, right?
Right. But I can't think of another country immediately that looks like that. I'm sure there's ones that, yes, have green and sky and whatever. But
so The Fires with a 28-day shoot is the most recent project to wrap in the small country, which has been attracting some big names, including HBO's True Detective Night Country in 2023, and this year CBS Studios' BBC historical series King and Conqueror, and I guess Lasse Hallström's, right? Nordic Noir, The Darkness, which is not the band, also for CBS Studios, or maybe it is about the band. I don't know. So The Fires has.
If they had their song on that show,
that'd be hilarious because it's a Nordic Noir, and then they have this little spaceship landing.
Yeah, it might not fit.
I believe in a thing called love. So Johnson says keeping the crew safe was the biggest challenge when filming near an active volcanic area. We had a great collaboration with the police and Icelandic Association for Search, Rescue, and Injury Prevention, the Icelandic Coast Guard, and the Met Office. Iceland has long been popular for producers seeking jaw-dropping locations like Thorafoss Falls, seen in Game of Thrones, or the, oh my goodness, Vatnajökull Glacier, which was the ice planet for Interstellar. So I guess there's a little of everything as long as you don't mind waterfalls and ice planets.
Glaciers and volcanoes.
Volcanoes. Yeah.
I mean, that's maybe why they have the rebates, right? Because it's not as predictable of an environment.
The foreign investment in culture ever in the country is this $29 million in the case of True Detective. It's a rebate that has brought millions in production dollars. The shoot was so high profile that some local filmmakers began to worry that lawmakers might be prioritizing foreign investment over the homegrown creatives who rely on the government film fund to help finance their films. I'm not sure how that really works. Do I miss something? They don't get any money. They just don't get taxed as much. There's not as big a fee.
Right. It basically brings in lots of revenue and probably jobs while the film is being produced. But,
right.
I mean, if there's only so many settings or there's only so many film crew or whatever, is it potentially competing with those domestic?
Yeah, so the homegrown creatives are relying on the government film fund to help finance their films, but getting external funding in means that they're making more money.
There's more going in probably to the film fund if they're really funneling it back into that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they could be funneling it into other things that the country needs too. But
right. But foreign investment is what bolsters the success of the domestic enterprise.
Right. And I assume Iceland is a reasonably insular economy, given that it's an island and it's not real close to many countries.
And
but I don't know that.
If I recall correctly, it doesn't need much in terms of power. It self-generates. So
yeah, it has geothermal.
Yeah. Interesting. So he contends it's harmful to accuse the rebate of causing wage inflation or monopolizing crews. Are you saying that you should keep people without work so that you can get them cheap? When an industry grows, there's all kinds of demands and people want more salaries and they get better, and that's healthy. So I'm all for that. I don't want to keep people down. But see, the dynamic here is wonky. If everybody goes up, then everything goes up. It doesn't make any sense. The economists that I've spoken to are like, well, it's healthy that an economy grows at 3%. Well, no. An economy that pays all of its bills and doesn't run negative at a deficit and rack up having to pay $1 trillion a month in payments, that's a healthy economy, one that lives within its means, right? Even if it is just skimming by, it's living within its means and not running negative. But if you can get outside money coming in for products and services, that is where you're making more money because it's from a foreign location. More money is coming into the system.
Right. If you're bringing more in than you're sending out, that's usually a good thing.
That's a good thing. I mean, that's standard business practices. But if everybody starts driving up the costs, then you have inflation and it always goes up. I mean, demanding stuff go up is not necessarily the good thing at a moderate rate. Maybe, but why? Why does it have to increase? Why does it have to increase? Shouldn't shit just be paid for?
I don't know. I'm not an economist.
Yeah, I've had these conversations. Well, okay. It says it's really changed the industry for the better, is what they are saying. But others are saying that he contends it's harmful to accuse the rebate of causing wage inflation or monopolizing crews. So again, it's back to the insular, put the wall up kind of a thing. Anyway, they say there's a lot in this. Big rebates lure international shoots to Iceland. And there's some good and bad about this based on which side of the fence you are. And I've said this before, one person's terrorist is another person's freedom fighter. It really depends on what side of the fence you decide that you want to land on. And that's really the nuts and bolts of the whole article. Anyway, let's go on to our last one. Our last article for today is 5 most iconic thriller film climaxes ever and 5 that fell flat. So I'm hoping that we don't run really long, but these tend to. Everything okay?
Spoiler alert.
Nah. So, Ben Prothero, do you really want me to? Do you think that it's going to be possible?
I have no idea what's in here.
Yeah, we don't know. Okay, so spoiler alert and overshare, but it's blocking most of the screen. So let's see if we're okay. So iconic, Psycho, fell flat, The Village. I'll go through these really quick and then we'll go back. Iconic, Black Swan, fell flat, Shutter Island. Iconic, The Silence of the Lambs. Fell flat, Now You See Me. Iconic is 7. Fell flat is Us, which, no. Iconic is The Third Man. I don't even remember this. Fell flat, I Am Legend. Okay, so let's go all the way back up to the top. Number 10, Psycho. You know what? These are so old that I'm going to remove it. Psycho's twist changed the entire genre. It is iconic. And it's for the genre back in the 60s. This type of, Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho was just a mind bender. It was violent and it had a twist that people were like, what the? Yeah, pretty amazing. The Psycho twist ending works so well because Hitchcock gives the audience enough information beforehand to make them think that they know what's going on far better than the characters. In one moment, he reveals that it has all been a clever trick. The one divisive element of Psycho's ending is the didactic voice over, which spells everything out right at the end. Dun, dun, dun. Anyway. Fell flat, The Village, M. Night Shyamalan's twists can be hit and miss. I actually liked The Village, but it says Shyamalan has produced just as many twist endings that have baffled his audience. The Village is one of them. The Village looks at a period piece for most of the runtime, but the climax reveals that the events of the movie take place in modern day. So,
I did not know that.
And really, that's not the climax, by the way, because deep into the movie is when it's largely revealed because of events that take place. And so it says the Village climax inadvertently funny because it completely undermines the audience's suspension of disbelief. It says while it has its fans, there are also people that have found the Village's climax inadvertently funny. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to watch this because while it's not as scary as you think. Anyway, it has a neat twist. I liked the twist, but I also thought that the whole setting was fascinating. So then there's Black Swan. Nina gives one perfect performance before her death. Even at the end, there are some lingering mysteries about Nina's story. Black Swan's ending sums up the way that Aronofsky plays games with his audience. It's often hard to tell what's real and what's merely being imagined in Black Swan. It's much like a Fight Club kind of a thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you have to watch it to really get it. And while the article somewhat spoils it, the twists and turns of the movie belie this overshare, really. So you can actually be surprised by it. But it was an interesting watch. So Shutter Island's twist ending has its supporters, but it would be far more popular if it had handled it more deftly. Some people can see the twist coming. Shutter Island is one of Martin Scorsese's most divisive movies. Whether someone likes the movie or not will largely hinge on the feelings about the twist ending. After being brought onto the island to investigate the case of a missing patient, Teddy eventually discovers that he is also a patient. And the entire investigation is an experimental role play to indulge and thereby interrogate his delusions.
Okay, I haven't seen it, but that sounds like a pretty good twist.
Yeah, pretty fascinating. And I don't remember the ending, so it says that some people can. I don't remember the ending at all. So even with this saying it, it doesn't really embody your psychological state, your emotional state when you're going through this movie. Silence of the Lambs, which is all about an FBI analyst, Clarice Starling, and a cannibalistic serial killer, Hannibal Lecter. You know the one. That's apparently a great person. Clarice's investigation transforms from one of the intellectual curiosity into one of potentially lethal danger in an instant. And the whole thing is set off between Hannibal Lecter and who Hannibal Lecter was tapped to try and identify Buffalo Bill. And so you have to watch this whole movie. It's quite fascinating, but it is really violent, creepy, and just horrible if you want to still think of humanity as human.
As a lot of people do.
Yeah, so I won't go through all of these, but is there one that you thought might be interesting to talk about?
Well, the one that kind of surprised me on here was up a couple, was Us.
Yeah.
Only because I thought Jordan Peele's movies were really knocking it out of the park on this kind of thing. So that kind of surprised me, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so Us was a real oddball kind of a movie for me because of the entirety of this movie. You have no idea what's going on at all. And really towards the end of this, it says the exposition heavy way that Us reveals all of this information is also a little underwhelming. And that's really what happens. At one point you find out what is going on, but you still are wondering what the frick is going on in this movie, because while it's shows you some stuff,
too complex or something.
It's abstract. You have really no idea how all of this came into existence. And so I would love to have some more world building explaining what this is. It says the ending of Us provides answers to some of the movie's strange mysteries, and it reveals that Adelaide also grew up as one of the tethered before switching places with the human version of herself. But what is the tethered and all of that? I don't recall it ever really being explained in the movie. But it was a really fun movie to watch. I didn't expect anything. That and Get Out were just freaky movies, but I loved both of them. So at any rate, there you go, folks. That's all 10, 5 iconic and 5 that fell flat. And that brings us to the end of the continuity report for November 30th, 2024. So we're going to turn the lights on, and that's going to bring us all the way back to the front page of the continuity report at ohmTown.com. Go over there and become a citizen. You can actually follow just this. You can join this or leave the group. You automatically get joined to all 50 of the channels because we like holistic news. We don't actually modify any of the news that comes in. We don't delete anything except for adult content. There is no adult content, and if I do find it, it gets purged. There's a different venue for that, and it's not this place. So at any rate, I'm not yucking anybody's yum. You do you, boo. But it's a news site and not an adult content marketing site. So at any rate, every once in a while something pops up and I delete it, so to speak. Just so to speak. All right. Something popped. Never mind. Anyway, I am Mayor Watt. And the sentient AI is possibly incapable of saying bye right now.
Good night, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us for the Continuity Report. We'll have another episode for you next week, but come back tomorrow for Non Sequitur news and some more weekly shows.
You got it. See you soon. Bye bye.